best time to drink water? Like, is it before or is it after? Or?
Yeah, usually like half an hour before. Usually, like some people like to drink food drink water with their food or meals. Technically, we say usually at least 1 hour, half an hour before your meal. So you're not really filling it up with your stomach up with water when you're eating. It helps improve digestion as well. But if some people find it very difficult to eat meals, some people have swallowing difficulties, those are different, of course, issues, but generally speaking, half an hour to 1 hour before is a great time.
And after
Same.
after the food?
Same.
I have one question.
Yes, I think we're opening the questions now, so yes, please.
My question is that I'm a senior,
Yeah.
and they say that you should not be sedentary. So, like you said, you should eat only when you are hungry.
Yeah.
So should I wait for me to be hungry to eat, or
Okay.
go with the time?
Yeah, good question. So, what's your name?
Sure.
Mr. Sham is just asking me that he is senior, so 65 above.
Yeah, right.
Should he wait for his body's cues to eat for food when he's hungry, or should he just eat? So, it's a very interesting question. Usually, and I, of course, talk a little bit more. Like, do you not feel hungry?
No, I feel hungry when, like I'm asking because sometimes I don't feel hungry.
Okay.
But to go with the timings, like they say you should have 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
So if I go with that, maybe I'm not hungry and I'll stay eating.
Yeah, so it's a good question. Usually, it's a norm that we were always trained to have 3 meals a day, and then studies came to have 6 frequent meals throughout the day, keep eating basically. I don't think there's a right or wrong. Usually, some people feel very good when they eat only twice a day. They don't feel the need to eat, 3 big meals. It also depends upon your schedule. Like, how does your day look like? Are you up at 6 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning, and then you are sleeping at 9? You have a really long day, So it depends upon many factors. Generally, I would say you eat for your hunger, but I do understand your concern for being like some people don't just lose the appetite as we grow older. And what happens then? Then we say, okay, if you're not hungry, you don't feel hungry, that's when you would want those small, frequent snacks, because you can't eat a big meal because your stomach is now smaller as you grow older, that you eat small portions, maybe 4 throughout the day. So you don't have to overwhelm yourself with a big meal, but you still keep yourself nourished. Also, the need for some nutrients changes as you grow older. Your need for protein, your calcium, it grows up when you're older. So it's important that you pack your nutrients. Usually I say and actually geriatric nutrition is my area, like I did my PhD in geriatrics. So this is a question which I get more often than you can imagine. I always say, okay, you can't eat much. You can only eat small little portions. Let's pack it with nutrients. Let's make it nutrient dense. So whatever you eat is actually nourishing your body. It's not the fluff. It's not the foods which, it's not actually nourishing your body, it's not doing any good for you. So it could be a small example, like you're not too hungry, okay, maybe some nuts and seeds. It's not too crazy, but it will still keep you going. And I'm talking like an example where people do lose their appetite seriously, and then how do we keep balance in terms of nutrition in those cases? But it varies case to case. Yes.
There's one sure indicator that the body provides for when to stop eating.
Yeah.
It's a verb. A verb.
Yeah.
But I generally follow this except when the meal is kitchen. I can't stop.
Edward is saying the body's reflex to stop is to burp, and he said he doesn't listen to that when he's eating a khichdi. Khichdi is not a very popular, delicious considered meal, but some people do, some people don't. Actually, I don't know if I Burping is like a general. Do everyone burp when you're full? No, not really. No. Yes.
I find that if I eat a late lunch, I'll still eat on time in the evening, but have a smaller meal.
Yeah.
Because I know if I don't miss that, then it'll be like 9 o'clock, it's before bedtime, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I will eat on time, like 5:30, 6 o'clock, and have a smaller.
Yeah. I do the same. So it's kind of timing. Like if you're not hungry for a bigger meal, that you will have a smaller meal, which of course will give you that energy which you need to sustain the night.
Right.
You have a question, Mr. Abrol, I think?
No, not me, no. Sorry, no, she said you were asking her if I do once in a while.
Oh, okay.
Especially after you have a cold or, soda.
Yeah, exactly, yes.
Carbonated drink.
Yes. Yes.
You naturally said that we should eat as little processed food as possible, and I stress the words as possible. What about these energy drinks? Are they bad for you? What do they do? Perhaps you could say a few words?
Yeah, of course. Energy drinks, personally, I'm not a fan of. There's a lot of research coming out on the negative adverse impacts of energy drinks, especially for the additives and preservatives and the things which they put in there. So I know it's a cultural thing, mostly for. Are you talking about the Ensure and stuff? Oh, sorry.
Stuff like Ensure.
Sorry,
Oh,
yeah,
used to
we should
have things
differentiate.
like
Sorry,
Horlicks
yeah.
and Ensure and so on.
Sorry, so it's a different thing altogether than what I was pointing towards. That no, Ensure, Boost, they are some of the. If people don't know, they are supplements which you can drink, and we usually refer it to people who have low appetite or are recovering from an illness. Or in hospital setting, or they're coming home after surgery and they can't really eat much. So it's a supplement. I always say my approach is food first. Eat your food, but if you can't for some reason, and there are different issues in life, then of course.
When we were growing up in India, the most popular was Horlicks.
Yes, Horlicks they are different than Boost and Ensure, right?
Exactly.
Horlicks is more like and Bone Vita. We still have it at home. It's more taste and then like adding bunch of vitamins and minerals in it. I don't know the overall authenticity of that, but it's tasty for sure. Yes.
Has there been much research done on saliva production or release with age? You can repeat the question.
Yes. So, question is there any research on production of saliva with age? I don't know, Dr. Gaba, if you have come across a study like that?
I was going to say medications can change that.
Yeah.
So if you're on certain medications, you can have a decrease in your saliva production. And so the mouth would feel dry.
Yeah.
And also the calcification of your arteries, right? Because they affect the blood flow to the gut.
Yeah.
So the metabolism slows down and the process of food going down, that all sort of is affected as well.
Correct. So the
I
medications.
think for the saliva, yes, some medications will do.
Yeah, some medications can impact your saliva production. It could decrease or enhance. Like sometimes older people feel they have dry mouth. Sorry.
I'm just taking atorvastatin and bisoprolol.
Okay. So bisoprolol, I think that's your blood pressure medication, and then
For
it,
something to do with the
bisoprolol, isn't that the blood pressure? It's a blood pressure, yeah.
It's a beta blocker.
Yeah,
statin and bisoprolol.
yeah. It could be. I don't know the interaction of your medications, but it, as Dr. Gaba said, it
Also
could.
your hydration. So,
Yeah.
how much are you hydrating?
Are you drinking enough water?
Water is key.
Yeah. Are you drinking enough water?
Not really good first needs.
Okay, so that's another thing which I personally have seen with a lot of my older patients is not drinking enough.
I was gonna say, usually men worry about going to
To washroom a lot.
constantly, and so do the women,
Yeah.
right? So
Exactly.
so we restrict ourselves, and then you're also told don't go late, don't drink too much late, and
Yeah.
otherwise you won't see. restrictions. which
Exactly.
Really affect our hydration.
Yeah,
status.
absolutely.
That can absolutely affect our.
Care of the saliva and dry mouth.
More liquid diet.
Yeah, more making sure that you're drinking water at least, like
Also drink
throughout the day.
tea and coffee and milk.
We don't usually count coffee towards hydration because coffee is dehydrating in nature.
Milk.
Milk, sure. Yeah. But still, water is water. Yes, I saw a hand up.
Actually, I was going to ask about coffee.
Yes.
First thing. And the other question is chocolates.
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts on coffee
Yeah.
and chocolate?
Yes.
I could definitely have one now. So coffee is, in moderation is okay. Caffeine in moderation is fine. Moderation means, and now moderation is a different definition, huh? Like, everyone could define moderation differently. Like, oh, I only drink 3-4 cups a day. Like, that's my moderation. But when we say moderation, we say up to 2 cups or 3 cups. And again, it's very individual. Some people can't have coffee after 10 o'clock and then not have different sleeping pattern, right? So it's again very individual, but you can safely have up to 2 cups of coffee a day. Chocolate, dark chocolate of course is anti-inflammatory. 70 or more % cocoa means loaded with anti-inflammatory foods. It's that anti-inflammatory component which helps body deal with inflammation. I actually wrote a paper on anti-inflammatory diet. So I compared Canada's food guide against an anti-inflammatory pyramid, which was developed by Dr. Andrew Weil. He is a physician, nutritionist in States. He created this pyramid, which looks like, of course, a pyramid, and it has a base of foods which you would eat more. So your vegetables, your fruits, and grains and your proteins, and it goes up. On the top of that pyramid is your chocolate. So, does it mean M&Ms? Probably not. But dark chocolates, yes. If you enjoy that, it's fun. Yes.
But without sugar.
Yeah, not too much sugar, of course, but once in a while, we're allowed to have everything. Am I going to eat this chocolate for a meal? Or is it like a sweet pleasure I want to enjoy for a few minutes?
How about the
That's
figs
what
and
differentiates.
dates?
Sorry?
Figs and dates?
Yeah, that's fine. Figs and dates are natural.
Yeah.
Of course they have sugar, but they have lots of fiber too. Right? So we choose the healthier devil. Yes.
I had a question, but answer rather can be controversial, so I just want to know your view rather
Yeah.
than answer. What about the sugar alternatives like stevia and
Yeah, great
oat
question.
meal, all that?
Yeah. A lot of research on sugar alternatives, not so promising. Stevia actually is one of the exceptions. We did a study on stevia and we actually used the leaves. I don't know if someone is creative and has stevia plant in their home, but I know some people actually use the leaves to sweeten their food. When we use the leaves of stevia, we actually saw that it could impact the pancreas, and it actually reversed. It was a study we did on the rats, not on humans. So I don't know if it will, the same results would we would see in humans, but in rats, it actually repaired their pancreas as well. Stevia did, but I don't know when it when the powders in the packets come, they have the same impact. But we did the leaves. Erythritol is monk fruit sweetener. I don't know if someone has tried monk fruit. That's another one which is going around quite a bit. And recently I read a paper about that, which didn't sound very good either. So usually my take is either you don't put sugar. If you really want, like I personally enjoy my chai with sugar. I put jaggery, good in it. Because I like it. And that's only one thing in my day which has sweet in it. I don't do cookies, I don't do desserts. But that's my fix, that's my soul food, and I take it.
What's the diet called?
Same as like aspartame, you probably have seen studies on that, the negative outcomes of it. If you really, I really say, if you want to enjoy something, you know, like, do you want to enjoy Coke every single day? Then we have to sit down and talk. But if you enjoy it, like, you know, once in a while when you have pizza or like with some food, you know, it's a combination,
Or
it's
no
fine.
choice.
It's an 80-20 rule, right? Like, is this part of your daily routine? We eat 3 meals in a day normally, and 7 days in a week, we eat 21 meals. Are we going to worry about all 21 meals? No. But we need to focus on at least 16, 17 to make sure we are doing right. Yes.
Good to know that you use gur. Isn't it true that highly refined sugar is much worse than brown sugar or gur?
So, good question. As I said, choose the devil. They will have a similar impact on the blood sugar. The insulin will go up
Yes.
with processed sugar and good also. But good, because it's unprocessed, it's unrefined. I'm referring to jaggery, which is like a very unrefined form of sugar, right from the sugar cane. That has some minerals too. Is it really giving me enough iron when I do it from my tea? No, it's not probably. Because the tannins in my tea bind the iron too, right? So it's more about a taste preference than really giving me a nutritional value at this point. Yes?
What about molasses?
Similar, same thing, right? The impact on your blood sugar, the insulin response would be same.
So molasses is the same as honey, for instance, or as
I don't think there's much difference in terms of your insulin response. For most of the sugars, for matter of fact,
right.
you know, they're all going to raise your blood sugar up. How often you want that, how much you want that, taste and preference, I think all these things make a difference. So, yeah, it's like really preference, yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Protein powder is very, very popular these days.
Yes.
What is its impact on the body? Like you see all of these contradictory articles about some people say that it's very hard on the body,
Yeah.
it doesn't digest properly.
Yeah.
Others say it's absolutely required because you don't
Yeah.
get enough protein in your food. So
Yeah.
what is the truth?
Absolutely. So the question, if people didn't hear around the room, is what are my views on protein powders? So protein powders, I say it's a supplement. It's not a meal replacement. You want to eat your protein from your food. If there's a day in a week when you were on the go, you didn't have time at all, okay, that's my day when I would probably have something on. I do keep protein powders at my home personally too, and that's the day when I rely on protein powder. Usually, mom is right here, she mostly cooks at home, and she knows my bowl of dal is like the biggest bowl we have in our home. We all do that, like, you know, like the biggest bowl of dal. Not so much focus on roti or rice, but for sure on the dal. So food first. If you need protein powder, once in a while it's okay. I don't recommend them making part of your daily life. I know the marketing strategies has make it like a thing. You will see people going around, and this is just water, by the way, don't doubt me. They're going like this, and then you pump a weight in the gym and you drink like protein powder. You don't need that. It makes a difference of what you eat throughout the day, not in just that drink which you have on hand, right? So I actually work with a lot of, my clientele is diverse. Many young guys in their late 20s, 30s. One specifically I want to mention that case, came to me with impacted kidney function at such a young age because of the protein powders. I'm like, okay, let's just sit and revisit the whole thing around protein intake, and it's really bad amongst guys. I don't know if that should say word bad, but I mean, like, you know, it's really like a thing, I should say, thing amongst guys. So we worked on his protein strategies, we worked on food first approach, and he was fortunately able to reverse it back. But people, you might have heard stories and, like, you know, instances where it could be really, really helpful. I'm actually presenting another topic in a couple of weeks. I see there are a bunch of women in the crowd on women's health. And then one of the questions, the they are requesting me is about protein, because women are told that they have to eat 1 gram per pound of their weight. I'm like, no. Like, imagine, like, that much impact on your kidneys, on your body. We definitely don't need that. So, food first, always. Yes.
So there is a link between protein and uric acid and gout, right?
Yes.
Can you explain a little bit?
So, link between protein, uric acid, and gout. There's specific protein like purine, right? That impacts the gout, and of course, it is if you are prone, you have some underlying condition that it's not that everyone who's healthy can have protein, has protein would have gout, but it's a condition, it's a medical condition. Then we work on your purines and your overall, there are some things which you have to exclude from your diet to make sure that it doesn't impact your gout flare-ups. And then there's a food symptom diary we usually do with people with gout. What are the symptoms? What is the flare-up? What's caused by? To draw that cause and effect association, and then of course, but purine in general, yeah. What a great crowd we have. I am so amazed. I have taught at universities, I have given so many lectures, I have never had such an interactive audience, and I love it. Thank you. Maybe I'm not even more questions, but I just want to acknowledge you. If you have more questions, I don't know where we're doing with time. Time flew by pretty quickly. We are almost at 5 o'clock. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, supper time.
Rajesh will now give a vote of thanks.
Okay, perfect. Thank you everyone once again for being such a lovely audience.